What you cooking, Mom?
Cut. Fucking cut.
Now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go purchase one. That's the problem.
This ain't for me. I was like,
the background is mom and dad was addicted to crack cocaine. Okay. Right?
All praises to the Most High. Hi, how are you? Welcome to another episode of the Doc Holliday Show, where we love to uplift black men, black woman, black teen, black child, black royalty. And today I am joined by another black royalty, the warrior, Hebrew, my Ak, my man who is putting in work for the culture, my guy, Rashaad Singleton. Rashaad, what's happening, bro?
Shalom, brother Doc. Hey, it's a blessing. It's a complete honor to be a part of your show. Thank you for having me, fam.
No, thank you for being here, man. First of all, I've been watching you, man, following you on Instagram and some of the other things that you're doing, man. For people that don't know about you, tell the world about Rashaad Singleton. I know a lot of people know about you, but my viewers, man, tell the people about Rashaad Singleton, where you from, man, a little bit about your background.
Yes, sir. I grew up in North Florida. I was born in St. Mary's, Georgia. Both of my parents was in the Navy. I was a Navy kid. Traveled a little bit in my youth, and we wound up settling in North Florida, north of Tallahassee. Went on to do pretty well in basketball there, received a basketball scholarship to the University of Georgia. Attended there. Also attended Florida Southern College as well. Went on to be with the New York Knicks back in 2009, part of their summer league. Had a little bit of an injury, took some time off, and ended up going overseas. So played overseas since 2009 now. Played in Japan 3 or 4 years. Played in Europe, Romania, places like this. Played in Central America, played in Venezuela. Played in the motherland, played in Angola, played in Tunisia. It's been a beautiful experience, brother. Coming from a small town, you can imagine, traveling the world is not something you can imagine growing up, especially on a dirt road. But, when you have the opportunity to, and more than anybody as an athlete, we're not able to go on these, these international trips that, students be taking, foreign exchange programs and things like. We don't know what that's like, you know what I mean? And it always looks so fun. We see people come back, they tell their stories. But overseas basketball definitely allows you to live that out a little bit. And, just through traveling the world, my brother, I just began to understand all these different nations had their own businesses. And that began to make me wonder, why is my people, why when I come back to the States, we're the only people that don't have businesses. I go to Japan, the Japanese people own businesses. When I go to Qatar, the Qatarians own businesses. When I go to Venezuela, Venezuela own businesses. Even when I go to Angola, the Angolans own businesses. But when I came back home, we didn't own no businesses, brother. So that began to make me research and just kind of study. And that made me want to write. So I became an author as well as a professional basketball player. And, that's kind of led me to just want, liberation for Black Americans as a whole.
All praises to the Most High. Now, that's what I want to get in, because basketball player, major college basketball. I mean, you didn't just play basketball, bro. You play major college basketball because Georgia and the powerful SEC. But just being a basketball player and an athlete, a lot of times, we get stuck. A lot of us don't know what to do after our playing careers is over, because that be our identity, but you haven't done that. Basketball, salute, brother. Fine, I salute you for that. But what I salute you more for is that what you're doing now. You say you're an author. Talk about some of the books you've written, man, and why you wrote those books. And you're also president of the National Reparations League. And we're going to talk about that as well, man. But just talk about some of these books you have written, because I started following you and I became such a fan because, first of all, it's great to see a strong black brother fighting for the culture, fighting for the community, and trying to uplift us, because that's what I'm doing. So, and I know a lot of your books have done that as well.
Yes, sir, brother Doc. When I heard the phrase, if you want to hide anything from a black man, put it in a book, I was highly offended by that. And I began to think about some of the books that we were told to read in school. They told us to read Huckleberry Finn, and they told us to read To Kill a Mockingbird. But nobody said anything about From Babylon to Timbuktu.
Yes.
Nobody said anything about They Came Before Columbus. You see, my brother. So I had to write a book that could be scholarly enough to teach in the classrooms, but it can be clear enough to be understood in the streets. You see, my book, I purposely don't make it long, because some of our people can get intimidated when they see a big, huge book. I made it specifically a few, 100 or something pages, just so I can get the information to our people. And the books that I wrote, the one that's the most popular is The Hypocrisy of Democracy, how the American dream became the African-American nightmare. I also wrote Arise, Brother. This is a call to Black kings. I also wrote Ode to the Black Queen, God's Greatest Creation. The reason why I wrote these books, brother, The Hypocrisy of Democracy, I wanted to address two specific things. One, we have not been paid reparations when everybody else who suffered in this nation did get paid reparations. And two, what is it about the Israelite history and our history that's connected? And why haven't they taught us more about it? You see, why they didn't teach us that the oldest Bible in the world is in Ethiopia? Why they didn't tell us that the Hebrew people was a derivative of the Hebrew people, and that the people that was being shipped over, you could literally see signs that say find Hebrews for sale? Why they didn't teach us this? Why they didn't teach us that some Native American tribes had the 10 Commandments written in stone in ancient Hebrew? Why they didn't tell us that the first slaves that built the first African church in Savannah, Georgia, they wrote in the pews in cursive Hebrew, but they didn't even know how to read and write in English. They weren't allowed. So how was they writing in cursive Hebrew? So I had to address these two things in The Hypocrisy of Democracy. Arise, Brother, family, was this was a call for what we're doing right here. It's time for good brothers, put the damn remote down, turn the TV off, put the video game down, and it's time to unite. What has our generation done? Okay, let's be clear. Great-grandparents, they got us out of slavery. Grandparents, they got us the right to vote. Our parents' generation, they did their best to get us equal wages. What have we done? You see, what has our generation done? And that's what has brought me to the point of wanting to fight for reparations. I believe it is our generation that can truly get reparations for our people. And last but not least, is the third book out of the 7 that I've written that I'm most proud of is Ode to the Black Queen. Brother, that we learned all about all the white queens in history. Snow White was white, Beauty and the Beast was white, Beauty and the 7 Dwarfs. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Queen Elizabeth, everybody's white. They didn't tell us about Queen Nzinga of Angola. They didn't tell us about Queen Asantewaa of Ghana. They didn't tell us about the Candace Queens. The list goes on. Like, why can't we see our Black women as royalty? But see, then that's when you understand the fact. That's why some of our women want to be and act like them because we allow white and European culture to dictate what is royalty, what is beauty. And this book is addressing that we have been lied to. It is our Black women that sets the levels and the standards of beauty. It was our Black women that we've been wearing. They've been wearing long nails and you know, we could go into the history of them wearing a dress, and you know, they made the back dress to copy the Black woman, the backside. They imitate you. They take something of yours and they sell it back to you. So Ode to the Black Queen is just addressing that, hey, Black women, Black American women, I know nobody have told you this, but you do come from queens. Some of you are meant to be queens, and all of you are queens. And it's time that, you know, we just show our women to be the royalty that they are.
All praises to the Most High, bro. And that's another reason why I wanted to get you on here, man, because you said it, man. Brothers, we have to unite. Now, we have all these differences. And the thing about it, brother, is that we find every reason to argue with one another and be divisive. Now, I realize that we the real Hebrews, we are the Israelites, and you realize that as well, but we got all these different doctrines and all these things that have polluted our mind. And as you said, the history has lied to us. They're only going to show us and tell us what they want us to know, but it's really up to us to just scratch back the surface of it, man, because the very next level is some truth in that. When do you get to the point where you realize, okay, this is who I am? Because I tell people all the time, I was not African American when I was born in 1973. Now, that term just came around 1988, 89. I'm not black because this is black. I'm not Negro because that's the same thing. We have a history that we have not been taught about. When did you learn and realize, like, okay, this is who I really am? Your awakening period, and you're like, okay, now I got to do something about this.
A great question, brother. You know, that's a question that I like to ask other brothers too. So I'm gonna ask you the same question. Family, it was around this time. Believe it or not, it was around this time. I was looking at the history of Christmas and came across, I think it was one of the IUIC videos. And the brother was just slicing everything that I believe, every lie that I have. I mean, they was just chopping it up. They brought out Jeremiah 10:1. Do not go the way of the heathens. You know, they cut out a tree out of the forest. They decorated with silver and gold.
So that it moveth not.
You know, they looking in the, come on, brother. I'm sitting there looking at the camera. They looking at me like, what other tree that they decorate with silver and gold? Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, like, yo, this is deep. You know what I mean? And they started just breaking down the holidays, and they said, you have to understand the most important verse, one of the most important verses, that my people suffer, not for a lack of money, not for a lack of resources. Said my people suffer from a lack of knowledge.
Hosea 4:6.
Of knowledge. And then he brought out the Revelations. Revelations 2:10. For I know of thy poverty, but thou art rich. I know of those who say they are Jews and are not, but of the synagogue of Satan. They broke that down. Okay, so at the end of it, it was like the matrix was broken, brother. Yeah. Like, it was just broken. It was stuff that you can't, you know, how can I refute this? Like, how can you, like, this is what they did. And if you think European culture and colonizers would manipulate everything but the Bible, I mean, you got to be crazy to believe that. You think they touched everything, but they didn't touch the Bible? Like, you got to be crazy. Yeah. So, you know, just understanding that, brother, that gave me a lot of clarity.
I mean, I absolutely love it. Now, go ahead, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off, because what you're saying, I think you and I were on similar. We're on similar paths, and we've been on similar paths, because I'm the same way. And when you come to an awakening and understand who we truly are, people feel threatened. They get mad. It's like, no, I mean, why would you get mad? Because I've come to a realization of who I am now, because the Most High said in those days that my people will remember themselves in the land of their captivity. That's what's happening right now. But I know on your Instagram page, man, Rashaad Singleton, man, Black Excellence, I love what you post. I love the content. I love what you doing. I love what you stand for. And I know sometimes, man, you face some backlash, and I be sitting back like, there's nothing wrong with what you just said. You're just giving information, true information. How do you deal with that, man? And how do you continue going? Because I'm the type, bro, I want to put my hands on you. Like, I don't want to be doing all this social media back and forth. I want to touch you and, you know what I'm saying? But you can't do that. So how do you make it through that, man, and continue to do what you do and provide the information and the content that you do?
You know, brother, to be honest, my love for my people overshadows any of that. You know, that is meaningless. As the old saying goes, as long as you don't put your hands on me, we good. I ain't got no problem with you as long as you don't put your hands on me. So that's how I wear it, brother. And that's how you kind of, and if you cared about it any more than that, you would go crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's constant, you know what I mean? You got a constant troll. But brother, you know, I have to, what would Malcolm X do? He got it all the time. What would Dr. King do? He got it all the time. What would Sister Rosa Parks do? She got it all the time. You know what I mean? Yet they were able to do it with such a class and dignity. You never really saw them broke. And I try, brother. I would never be in the same class of those people, but I try to do it with somewhat of the same dignity. Even when I'm speaking in real life, you're always going to have some naysayers. And if you don't, you're probably doing something wrong.
Big facts. Now, you're president of the National Reparations League. Talk about that, man. It's really self-explanatory, but I like the fact that because I sit, like I say, I mean, you know, kindred spirits, because I'm like, okay, Biden, you're going to get these people. I mean, you know, but see, I understand why these things have happened to us because we disobeyed the Creator. I understand that, but still there are things that need to be made right. And this world doesn't seem to want to make it right with us. And I'm like, okay, but still, you're still fighting for reparations and fighting for what we're owed. Explain exactly what you do with the National Reparations League, bro.
Family, you know, I see people on TV talking about a lot of things. I see Black men every day with veins coming on the side of their neck talking about sports. Oh, the Dallas Cowboys and this, and LeBron James this, and the Lakers this. But I don't see nobody talking about reparations. I don't see nobody saying that we're the Israelites. See, this goes back to the hypocrisy of democracy. The two most important things that our people need to talk about, we're not even talking about it. We're dared to talk about it. Hell, if we're going to get shadow banned on social media from talking about it, what you think they're going to do it to us in real life? When they can withhold a check, put you in suspension. So, brother, I had to figure out a way. I see some people, California, doing a few things with reparations, and some folks in Virginia might be doing some things with reparations. You got a committee in Georgia trying to do something. But where's the unity? Where is the one unity that we need? And if you understand Dr. Marcus Garvey, he was big, but his organization was huge. They was in the millions. And the reason why they was able to get so much, I mean, you think about it, they was buying ships, brother. They was getting ready to buy, they had the ships. How'd they get that money? Because they was united and they moved as one. They were so united, all Black America was thinking about moving back to Africa. Like that, that's how united they were. So I said, there's never been a united effort, a united front for reparations. That's what I'm trying to create. No gimmicks. This ain't no, we fighting for this and that and the third. We are fighting for the reparations for the descendants of enslaved people in the United States and Jim Crow. And the reason why we add that and Jim Crow, that brings it to the present, because you have to understand, Jim Crow was nothing about that. That was not freedom. We think we treat Jim Crow like it was something like that was no freedom in there. And if your parents suffered Jim Crow, you are old. Brother, if you was born in 73, you just did make it out. So I know your parents are old. You know what I mean? This is, we have to talk about this. And the reason why we have to talk about this, certain Native American tribes got reparations. So-called Jewish people got reparations. Japanese Americans got reparations. And slave masters got reparations. So for us to not bring it up is a disservice to our ancestors. The National Reparations League is trying to correct that.
I mean, I love the whole spirit of it, and I'm totally with it. And that's the thing I always talk about and I always think about, because that is the point. It's like we get too comfortable. We've gotten too comfortable in captivity, for one, but a lot of us be like, we ain't in captivity. Okay, you keep thinking that if you want to, but my whole thing is that why settle for crumbs or even a slice of bread when really the whole bakery's supposed to be yours and ours, and we owe so much because we've contributed so much. And saying what you said, I made an episode earlier on the Doc Holliday Show talking about Black brilliance, about all the things that we have invented, which is pretty much goddamn everything, including this phone right here and cameras and everything, man. So as you said, for us not to ask for it, for us not to come, and it's so much fear. And my whole thing is that the Most High is the only one you should be fearful of anyway, because he's the only one that can do something to you anyway. But a lot of times we don't want to hear that. We get comfortable. We be like, all right, I'm good with my $60,000, $70,000 a year job, and that's so far in the past. I'd be like, how you honor your ancestors like that? And it's not so far in the past, because my dad lived in Jim Crow down in Mississippi and sharecropping and had all that stuff taken from them. So not only do we fight with the other nations, we have to fight amongst ourselves, man. So how do you push through and make it through that? Because that could be extremely difficult trying to bring us together. Like, can we just please all our differences? Can we put it to a side and come together and focus on this one goal right now? How do you push through and fight through that? Because a lot of times it be us battling with one another, bro.
That's right. That's right. You're absolutely right, brother. And that's a great question. It was troubling at first, when I bring up reparations and I hear some of our people say, we ain't gonna never get that. Why y'all keep begging the white man for this and that? I just have to shake my head in disappointment that they don't get it. Because if I took their paycheck from 1 week, just this week, if I just took their paycheck, they will be ready to put hands on me. But the white man, he took your checks for centuries. You see, when we, never mind the lynching, the hanging, the raping, the kidnapping, the stealing. Let's just talk about the stolen labor, because that can be pinpointed. That can be calculated. They stole wages. And it's hard to make a person want to fight for something that is theirs. But here's the thing, brother. One thing I like what the military says: a few good men. You only need a few good men to get something done. So even the Bible says, and that's why it's so important to know the word. because even the word says that only a third of our people is going to get it. 144,000, is that right?
Yeah, 2/3. Most High says 2/3 got to go. Only 1/3, the 144,000 are like elect Israelites, like on the top of the chain. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
2/3 ain't gonna get it. So what do I look like? What do we look like trying to convince everybody? The word says 2/3 ain't gonna get it. So it's not even my job, brother, to make everybody want to fight for reparations. It's my job to unite the people that do. So that's what we're doing.
And you
can't focus just how we was talking about the haters on social media. Yeah. Brother, I'm at a vibration, and you know what I'm talking about. When you're at that vibration as a man, it usually take you until you're in your 30s to kind of get there. But when you hit that vibration of I ain't got time for no BS, I'm rolling everything positive. You either with me or you ain't. I'm cool. That's where I'm at, brother. You know what I mean? So I don't fight with nobody. You don't see me arguing with nobody. You want to fight for reparations? Do you know you're an Israelite? Oh yeah? Well, come on. Let's go together. Let's work together. No? Okay, peace and blessing. You go about your way. And that's how I leave it, brother. You plant the seeds, but it's their job to do the watering.
I mean, I love it, and it's such a great point. And the thing about it is that right is right. Wrong is wrong. Wrong has been done to us. Wrong continues to be done to us. So make it right. Until it's made right, you're gonna have issues and you're gonna have problems. And that's what it's all about. It's about right. It's right. And you can have the whole world, you can have the whole country be like, yeah, we know what we did to y'all. We know what happened, because everybody like us, we like to somebody, well, look at what we're doing with each other. You don't understand that the state and the condition that you're placed in. Because I tell people, I said, you ever heard about the black codes? No, what is that? Oh, you never heard about the black codes. Somewhere they really made it illegal to be out of work, made it illegal to not have a job, to be standing around right after they ended slavery. So you create these conditions and put us in this. Now, we have a lot to blame as well, but what you're talking about, reparations, man, right is right when we sitting back and watching everybody else get a check and we get nothing.
We cannot allow it to go unjustified. You know, once again, we owe this to it's not just our money we fight. We're fighting for what's owed to our ancestors. Can they ever write a number down for what they did to our people? Absolutely not. But I'm gonna tell you what, you should not be scratching and clawing to get a down payment on your house. Not after all the hell you done been through. You shouldn't be scratching and clawing to get a down payment on a car. Not after all the hell your people done been through. Because guess what? I just spoke to a Japanese girl, brother. I don't know if you've seen one of my recent interviews. I just spoke to a Japanese girl whose grandmother receives reparations till this day every month, $400. Is it a lot? No. But guess what? If you let $400 build up and just don't touch it, that's probably a scholarship for one of your grandkids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's something, you know? And I mean, that marks off a few bills. Some of our people wish they had a free extra $400. We ain't got nothing. And the Japanese Americans, they got rounded up and put in concentration camps, and they ain't taking nothing from what they went through. It was a tragedy. But does that compare to what we went through? Come on, brother.
Well spoken, well said, brother. Now, hey, great conversation. I'm glad to crank it up with you. I'm glad we had this chance to talk, man. I know we're going to have another chance to talk, but anything else you want to add? I also want you to tell the people where they can get your books and how they can find you on social media, brother.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, you can just hit the link in my bio. Follow me on Instagram, Rashaad.Singleton, RASHAAD.Singleton. You can follow me on Facebook, Brother Rashaad. And yeah, you can just, hit these links about it's Amazon. So you can find it on Amazon. The Hypocrisy, Democracy, Arise, Brother, and Ode to the Black Queen. Yeah, family, just, I appreciate you for having me. And I would love to know about your journey. I know you played in the league. I would like to know about your journey to the NFL, and how was that?
Oh, of course, bro. You know, born and raised here in Memphis, man. People here, man, played at Memphis State at the time, man. Went to the NFL a couple of years. Played in the CFL. Been in, TV media here. I was a sports anchor for the longest time. Sports director. Had the #1 sports department here in Memphis, and decided to leave last year because it is what it is, man. Dealing with racism, not overworking me. Always want me to do this, but don't want to pay me what I'm earning and what I'm worth, man. So I've been doing that now. Because people been telling me a long time ago. They were like, Doc, when you gonna get out and do your own thing, bro? I'm like, you know how we get comfortable. You're like, So it's like the Most High, like I'm gonna put you in a situation. I'm gonna push you out of there. I'm gonna make you leave. And he made me leave, man. So I decided to start my business. Then talking to him with my guy, Cassius McGowan, ISF Production, who's with this beautiful studio. He bought his equipment a couple of months ago, Rashaad, and I came in here and I was checking it out. I was like, well, you got, okay. I'll say, okay, Father. I said, you putting the pieces in place. So I said, let's go ahead and start the Doc Holliday Show, man. So that's what we doing, man. Beautiful wife, 4 kids. Been with my wife since I was 13, man. So just around here fighting and struggling, but it's all growth, and I love it, man. I transitioned from sports, even though I did sports. You know me. You probably know it. You play basketball and you tall. People see you. They immediately want to talk about sports all the time. You like, I know sports, but my mind is somewhere else, man. That don't even excite me like that. So that's why I am in a nutshell, man. And and I'm just here trying to uplift us and give us some positive images, because on TV and radio and entertainment, bro, they're not gonna give us no positive images of us, bro.
Right. Absolutely, family. No, that definitely that kind of brings things together, because I wasn't aware that you had your own show, but I definitely noticed, like, I think you started to do social media a while back, and the way your setup was like instantly. So there was a thought in my mind, like, this doesn't seem like this is his first rodeo.
No.
I feel like he's been doing this before.
No, I've been at this, bro, and my guy, I got to give it to him, Cassius McGowan, ISF Productions, man. The dude is a genius, man. I came in here, I'm like, well, you got this set up like a TV studio, and he got it hooked up, one-man band, man. So we just putting it together, bro.
It looks great. Yeah, it looks great. I definitely took notice. Like, it popped out. Like, okay, I see what you're doing, Doc. I definitely, that looks great, brother. I would love to ask you a little bit of a change of pace.
Yeah, go ahead.
I understand the recent tragedy of young Dolph.
Yeah.
And I know that affected the city. How are things there?
Hey, man, it's still tedious. It's still fire hot. They actually, we're speaking on Thursday today. What is it, December 15th? What is it, Cass? What's the date? December 16th. They had a memorial at FedEx Forum today. So it's still hot. It was hot before it happened, but it's still been really hot, man. It's a lot of things happening that the news and the media is not reporting on, but it's still a sad situation, man. You have a guy who you had young Dolph, but you also had Adolph Thornton Jr., man, who was had a beautiful black queen, 2 beautiful black babies, gorgeous son and daughter, man, and doing a lot for the community. So of course you got dudes around here still upset, and I'm just hoping that it calms down soon, man. I know I done reached out to some gang members, a lot of partners who they've reached out to gang members to try to talk, to try to get this thing squashed and try to get whoever did this, get their ass off the streets, because they need to be off the streets, man. But right now, it's still Memphis is still upset, man, especially in the inner city where I'm from and where I still live. So we just hoping that, it calms down, man, and these young brothers, calm down and come together and stop all of this.
Yeah, because, being from Florida, it's 2 things. First off, I didn't know Memphis was like that. Like, I knew it was a little rough. I knew everybody, we all listened to Little 3 6 Mafia back in the day. So, but I didn't know it was like, that's Chicago level. That's Los Angeles level.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see Memphis get that stereotype that unfortunately kind of Los Angeles has, that they're killing their own stars. Like, that's not right. You know what I mean? Like, this has to change. I don't know if it needs to be massive peace events, massive peace rallies, but, you know, I'm at your disposal, brother. If y'all have anything and I can try to get to Memphis, you know, we got to get the peace, because we understand that this is a plot. This is exactly what has been orchestrated. Us killing ourselves, this is a part of their plan. So don't think you're winning by harming your brother. You're doing exactly. When you harm your brother, when you harm your sister, you become a perfect product of white supremacy.
And you are exactly right, brother. And the thing about it is that, see, people, I know what the national media sees, and, you know, and the sad part is, you know, Memphis has gotten that rap because it's a lot, you know, it's a lot of poverty, it's a lot of unemployment, and it is a lot of madness going on, but it's always been going on like that. But you also have strong brothers like me, like Cassius, throughout the city, man, who have been fighting and combating that. And somebody like myself that from the inner city can still go to the hood and they be like, "What up, Doc? I ain't seen you on TV in a minute, man. I saw what you doing." You know what I'm saying? So put your hands on them and you can talk to them. And I, you know, like if you were to come see, a lot of people think they come to Memphis, "Oh, I'm scared. They gonna do," you know, and the sad part is that, you know, it's all of it's sad, but no one has to be afraid to come here because they doing it to themselves, man, which they need to stop. And that's why every chance I get to catch an ear, I'm telling them. Every chance I get to snatch them up or say something to them to discipline, people be like, "Man, you need to stop." I'm like, no, I'm not staying out of that, because we have to police our own communities. And a lot of times these young fellas, they want you to say something to them, man, because they want to know that someone cares. So it is like that. And I know it looks tough, man, but I'm the right type of person. I'm going to say something to him, brother, because we can't keep doing like this. Right. We can't keep going like this. We're going to damn near be extinct if y'all keep killing us, bro.
Yeah. Well, I'm here for you, brother. Anything I can do to help, just let me know.
I appreciate it. And the same here, man. Anything else you want to add, man, before we get up out of here, Rashaad? I appreciate the time. Great conversation. Anything else you want to add, man?
No, brother, I'm just grateful that you had me on your platform. I look forward to the next time. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. All praises to the Most High. That's going to do it for another excellent episode of the Doc Holliday Show, where we love to uplift black men, black women, black teen, black child, black royalty. Until next time, thanks again to Rashaad Singleton. Go get his book and follow him on IG, Rashaad.Singleton, Black Excellence. This is Black Excellence. This show is about black royalty and the uplift of us. Until next time, we out.
What you cooking, Mom?